Okay, good morning, everybody. Oops, that is my mobile here. Let me turn it off quickly. Here we go. Again, good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream, live edition of That Crypto Show, the closing bell. It's Friday again, and as every Friday, we want to recap the markets a bit, have a look at what happened this week on the market, look at some trades that we were doing also. Look at some market setups that, in my opinion, are going to become important for next week in trading. And so quick and easy, and without further ado, we're going to jump in now here as well. If you are watching this live on YouTube at the moment, as always, you can, of course, ask your questions in the chat later at the end of the show. If we still have some time left, we are going to answer some questions. So feel invited to discuss with me a bit about the markets. And of course, also, if you're watching a recording of this, feel free to leave your question in the comments below the video. And of course, we'll get back to you then as well to answer your questions. Okay, so yeah, let's jump right into the action here, I would say. Where am I? Here we go. I'll go a little bit through the charts at the moment, and we'll start with crypto here first. Have a quick look here at Bitcoin. And yeah, so I'm tempted to say nothing really that new in terms of crypto, in terms of Bitcoin. So we are still in this massive sideways range that we have been in here since June. So if we manage to do this now until mid-October, would mean we had 4 months of sideways range. The sideways range, of course, is quite a massive one, but after all, we're talking about crypto. So of course, we cannot measure by excuse me, measure by volatility standards, let's say, of other currencies. Although at the moment, and you'll see that later on, I kind of have a feeling that the legacy currency market, so everything pound, US dollar, euro, and so on and so forth, the yen is much, much more volatile than actually cryptocurrencies. However, I think there's one thing notable here at the moment for Bitcoin. We saw a bit of detachment from the move of the stock market. So especially if we here look here at the Standard & Poor, we saw quite a swing to the lower side. However, Bitcoin, in my opinion, at least remained fairly stable. And what I've been noticing is that wherever we come down into this area here around 18,000 US dollar, there seems to be quite a high demand. So it's like every time, Bitcoin tries to break to the lows there. So I think the low was at 17,500 a while ago here in June. And every time we dive down here, so look at the wicks here of this candle, for example, of this candle, also to a certain extent of this candle. So somewhere between, let's say, 18,000, 18,500, there seems to be a lot of demand for Bitcoin and for buying Bitcoin. And it's quite aggressive buying that we are seeing there very often. Of course, should we see further downswings on the stock market, and we're going to look at that, of course, today too, this support area is going to become thinner and thinner then. So then it might be just a matter of time to see a breakthrough there, maybe then to 17,000, even 15 or 13,000. However, this is just the short-term picture. Of course, the long-term picture, you guys know that. I think these are good prices if you're interested in long-term invest in Bitcoin, where, for example, every month, every week, you can buy some and slowly average yourself into the market and prepare for the next bull run, wherever that might be starting, right? We have a quick look at Ethereum here, and yeah, the picture really continues, sadly, I have to say. So altcoins in general, or most altcoins, especially Ethereum, is underperforming Bitcoin here in the last months and in the last days and weeks, I have to say. You can see this here if you have a chart of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So how much Bitcoin do you have to invest to buy one Ethereum? You can see clear downtrend here since the merge was in terms of Bitcoin. Ethereum has become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. We also saw that to a certain extent here in the Bitcoin dominance. So dominance meaning how much a percent of a total market cap out there is in Bitcoin, and we are at the moment we're at 41%. I mentioned this a couple of times also in videos and on our Telegram channel, that I would like to see actually Bitcoin to go somewhere here to the area between 46 and 50% of dominance, in order really to see a signal that the new bull market, a new bull cycle is starting, and we are slowly nearing the 1 year period since the last all-time high of Bitcoin. And you guys know, on average, we have like bear markets last between 12 months and 15, 16 months. I think 18 months was the longest, if I'm not mistaken there. All right. So that for crypto, the overall picture still very much, or two things here, in my opinion, important to take away for you. First of all, we are good supported here in Bitcoin around 17,500 and 18,500. There seems to be larger buyers always coming into the market. It seems like we're switching slowly from an altcoin season again to a Bitcoin season. So if we have a look here at some metrics, for example, our altcoin season index, this one is provided by Into the Cryptoverse, highly recommended website if you want to get a little bit into quant finance, if you want to look at altcoins, at Bitcoin, or the whole crypto sphere a little bit from a different angle. They have great charts there, great analysis, highly recommended. Go and check it out. And so this altcoin, excuse me, I've really come down with a cold a bit this week. I'm happy my voice is slowly coming back now. Yesterday, I couldn't have done this live stream actually. So this altcoin season index basically shows you over the course of the last, in this case, 90 days, have altcoins been performing better than Bitcoin or worse? So whenever we are in this red zone up here, and we were this over the last weeks, we had better performance of altcoins than Bitcoins, thus in altcoin season. Now, usually I use this anti-cyclical for trading, meaning whenever we are up here and have an altcoin season, I start more focus on Bitcoin again, because for sure, sorry guys, really, it's a bit, the flu has really gotten me bad. It's just a matter of time until we see Bitcoin dominance going up here again. And this is what I'm waiting for really at the moment. Oh, Jesus. So sorry. All right. So that on cryptos, I think the more exciting markets at the moment really are, for example, the stock market. So we've been talking on the Telegram channel quite a lot about the stock market as well. And by the way, if you are not on our Telegram channel, our Academy Telegram channel, you'll find a link in the description. Join it. So this is really, besides those videos, my main way of communicating with you guys. I nearly daily post updates about my market thoughts. I'm also posting some of my trades there, by the way. We just had a Euro-US dollar trade yesterday that we closed with $3,500 US dollars in profit. So I think it's really worth being there so you can get more into the market. And what I've been talking there is actually for a long time already, is that I expect the S&P to kind of make a soft landing here between 3,400 and 3,600 points. Now we touched the 3,600 points already. However, this was done much earlier than I anticipated. So back then, when I introduced this pattern here to you, this election pattern, that the stock market seems to be developing in the same pattern after the election of Biden than it did after Donald Trump. This pattern, and I think I first introduced this a couple of months ago, where I said, if this continues, we should see a new low somewhere between 3,400 and 3,600 points in the Standard & Poor's S&P 500, probably in early December. However, as you can see, we are already down here. And the question, of course, now is, are we going to break through the zone? Are we going to break through this zone? or is maybe really this soft landing and this bottom of the stock market, bear market comes much sooner than anticipated. I think a lot will really depend again the next month on what inflation data in the USA is going to show us. We had German inflation data, by the way, yesterday came in with 10%. Crazy. I cannot remember when inflation was here in the Eurozone, especially in Germany, so high the last time, basically, of course, driven by energy prices. If we have a look here at euro dollar, or let's start here with a US dollar index. So this US dollar index, DXY, it's called on TradingView, if you want to search for it there, is basically a basket of currencies measured against the US dollar. And if this goes up, it means that the US dollar is becoming stronger. And of course, this is the major trend, right? We've been seeing now, for over a year that the dollar has massively gained strength, which is very normal because we are in a so-called risk-off environment. So people flee out of risky assets, want to buy safe haven assets. This is especially the US dollar. And this is also especially US dollar bonds. So if you buy now a US dollar bond, at one point you were able to get interest of 4%. And many institutional investors out there rather take the 4% than maybe a risky 5 or 6 or 7% in the stock market. And here I also posted this on Telegram, by the way. I said that 2 days ago there's a hook forming. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I use the system called RSI hooks. If you never heard of it, by the way, just search for it in the Academy videos. There's plenty of instruction there, how to set it up, how to use it. And I said we have one of those hooks forming here in the US dollar index, actually entered this trade. So you can see here I have a paper trade open. I opened this one because I'm doing videos with other people as well, and I wanted to keep track of this position until the next video there. What I did, however, on PrimeXBT is that I didn't trade it on the US dollar index. Instead, I opened a long position in Euro US dollar. So it's the chart is the opposite of the US dollar index. So I bought euro, sold US dollar. And yeah, like I said, we were able to close this position yesterday with $3,500 US dollars in profit. So that was really nice trade for everybody that is in our Telegram group there. So one more reason to join us there. And we can really see this development also throughout all currencies that are in some way denominated to US dollar. So especially here, dollar yen massively been rising. I remember last Friday I said, if we pull back here somewhere into this region, I actually would buy the US dollar there. Things have changed a little bit. So what is really a bit weird is seeing yesterday, for example, the S&P 500 really going down again massively, but on the contrary, seeing the US dollar index also going down. So normally you would expect when stock markets rise that the US dollar index also goes down. Yesterday was a bit a weird world, and I'm sure this is also due to what we've seen from the Bank of England 2 days ago. So there was an interview with the head of the Bank of England, and they do something like quantitative easing for a certain time, which surprised the markets. And you can also really see here, for example, if we have a look here at pound sterling versus US dollar, how massively a nosedive this was taking. I mean, if I zoom out here a little bit, look at this from the top here, and that is not so long ago, no? So a year ago until the bottom. So within just shortly over a year, and if I just take this price at the moment, pound sterling versus US dollar, if you are owning British pounds, your money has lost over 20% in value in comparison to the US dollar. And we see the same with euro. And I always like to say this is kind of my best trade actually this year, because usually I keep my liquidity in US dollars or US dollar tokens, but my monthly spending is in euro. And just by keeping it in US dollar, it has been growing more when I convert it to euro by 20% in half a year now, which is crazy, right? This is not a trade you normally do, but cash is king in times like this. All right, what else can we have a look at here? Not so much, I think, from the metals at the moment. Gold keeps going down, down, down at the moment. And we've seen oil also coming back by quite a bit again. So from the highs here in WTI oil at around 125 euro, we are now down to 80. I always wonder why I don't feel that at the when I get gas for my car, because it's as expensive as it was 2 months ago. Let's have another look here really quickly at some quant data. I was last week talking about this metric supply and profit and loss, where I always say this is kind of the last quant data that still is not really signaling a bottom of a bear market, what I call the kiss of death there. If I zoom in here maybe a little bit more, you can see it's kind of going back and forth. So the red line are people holding Bitcoin that are currently sitting on losses. The orange line, people that are sitting on profits. And normally when these metrics cross, when you have more people for a certain time that are sitting on losses, then this usually is the time where the crypto markets find their bottom. So you can see this happened back then here in 2011. It happened for a prolonged time in this very long bear market we had in 2014 until 2016. It happened after 2017 also happened for a very brief moment here when COVID first came into the world to plague us in 2020. And it's happening again now. And maybe the better thing to do here is actually putting an overhead like a 14 days moving average over it, because it smoothes out and you can very well see, what indicated that the bottom kind of is in for the last bear markets has not yet happened. So we have not seen this cross here. And just because the cross is coming doesn't mean this is exactly the bottom. Usually it takes a while then, and what I call an accumulation zone, where Bitcoin either goes sideways or even loses some value. So that's why I say like 15,000, 13,000. It's not impossible, that we still see prices like this. All right, a lot of talking from my side here. Do we have any questions from you guys? I always forget here to use this nice bands that I can use in this program to have kind of the banner going back and forth. Yeah, please leave us a like, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to start trading with PrimeXBT.com, you are, of course, very much invited to do so. You'll find all links that you need in the description also of this video. If you use the link there to open an account, you automatically become a member of the PrimeXBT Trading Academy. And you're entitled to receive a lot of nice perks. One of them, for example, being this promo code Trading Academy, where you can get up to $7,000 as bonus on your first deposit. So that's actually pretty nice, right? As I said, also, please join our Telegram Academy channel. Link also in the description for more updates, for daily updates like this, and to also see some of my trades that I'm doing there. So you can not only, you don't only have to rely maybe on videos. And I can feel now that my voice is kind of going away a little bit again. So I'm just going to cut it short here for today, if you allow me so, before my voice totally goes away. By the way, next week we are going to be in Dubai at the crypto expo there in Dubai with our own stand. So if you happen to be there somewhere in Dubai, drop by, have a chat with us about the markets. I'm going to be there as well. And of course, I'm more than happy to talk with you a little bit about the markets. And looking forward to seeing you. I wish you a happy weekend ahead, and always remember to use a stop loss. Take care and